So we're finally closing in the year of the snake. This is the season of healing and releasing, and we're finally getting beneath the surface and stepping into the fire horse energy, which I'm very excited for since this includes movement and courage and passion and momentum and just stepping up a little bit more in our creative endeavors, in our voice, in our authenticity, and in our alignment of who we are becoming. So today we are going to honor what we are leaving behind, and we are going to embrace and explore what is coming next in this season. You might have felt it lately. It feels kind of uncertain, but also like a chapter is closing, like there's an ending. And for me, as I celebrate the Lunar New Year and I'm purging everything from my house, I realize it really aligns with this snake year, this snake energy. And, even as a nurse, I sit with people in different seasons of transitions all the time. And what I've really learned in this last season of the wood snake is that we are boldly moving forward and shedding our skin. We are shedding that layer of ourselves that no longer serves us, that we're ready to let go of. And not only that, we grieve that part of ourselves as well as expand into this beautiful new version that I'm really excited for as we come into these beautiful days. So even if you're watching this after the New Year's, we are still connecting with that new season, with that new fire horse energy. So the first thing that I've noticed within myself is I went very inwards last year. I got off social media and I felt very reflective. I did feel very lonely during this process, that I lost some connection, and I was able to rebuild that connection through different avenues of an online community that I've created. But this is about shedding that skin, right? What am I letting go of? I let go of the social media like constructs of needing to post every day and releasing old identities of a shyer version of myself that wasn't as sure as I am now. I outgrew a lot of patterns by really looking at my core wounds and my narratives and doing that deep intuition work. I know a lot of people have been doing this shadow work and they're quietly transforming and transcending and expanding to something else. But it's not like they're shouting it. They're not like, hey, I'm changing. It's more than that. It's actually a slow internal like burn where lots of people are saying, I'm turtling right now. And so it's like a snake hiding under a rock, waiting for some friction. And it needs friction to shed that skin, right? It doesn't have posable thumbs to shed that layer. It needs to rub up against something that doesn't necessarily always feel uncomfortable. And that's also shadow work, where we see that awareness within ourselves. So sometimes the snake year can feel like pulling away, stepping away from things that we no longer need or relationships, really reevaluating our values, looking at our time as well. We're doing more of a time audit, being more purposeful and focused about where we are healing ourselves and letting go of what no longer fits in our lives. This year, a lot of stuff happened beneath the surface. And this analogy of the snake shedding its skin. And if it doesn't shed its skin, it can die, right? But here comes the horse. The horse year is coming. And the horse doesn't crawl, it doesn't hide, it moves, it runs. It has so much energy. So, what does that mean? The fire horse energy is very different than the snake energy. The snake was still, it was observing and looking around and being really deep and meditative. But the fire horse is about movement, it's about courage. You're going to stand up a little straighter. You're going to speak more loudly and more grounded in your passions, in your entrepreneurship, in your creative endeavors, and maybe reclaiming more of that time by letting go that things that don't serve us, whether that's literally, figuratively, emotionally, spiritually, so we can have more freedom, more expression, more space to run. You have to have space to run. You can't be caged up if you want to run, if you want to go forward. So suddenly we're going from snake energy to like, I am trying to figure out who I am, to I am ready to live the person I am meant to be. So this fire energy gives us creativity. It gives us the ability to be seen, to be witnessed. You know, when you see a horse running by, you are watching them. You're like, wow, they're really confident. They're really bold in their actions. There's no indecisiveness. And it's not necessarily like rushed action. We're not racing in head forward, not seeing where we're going, but it's heart-led movement. Horses are very intuitive. So I did come up with a couple cute facts for horses, which anybody who's really into equine probably already knows, that they represent freedom as well as forward momentum. They're known for their loyalty as well as their intuition, that emotional energy. They're able to tap into it. They're very gentle animals, but also very stoic and kind of intimidating. And that's also the fire energy. Fire is also very intimidating, but stoic, and it has a spark, it has a warmth, a heat, a life force, and that is about starting new projects. It's about speaking up, creating more, and living more openly within our lives. It's not about burning out. It's not about blazing the candle from both ends. It's about consistently kindling the fire that is already within you. So you might notice in the upcoming months a desire to move forward, a desire to try something new, a desire to be seen more visible, where people can acknowledge your existence and the creative crafts that you have to offer. You express yourself more, you take more creative leaps, and you do more creative, risky things so you can feel more alive again. Because when we are uncomfortable and we are scared, there is success on the other side. I feel like even in the time of the astrology, a lot of people are feeling, I've been inside for so long and I am ready now. I am ready for this natural transition into this new fire horse energy. So I'm so excited. And for me, what I see the most is creative healing. I see people in this last year processing and healing and integrating so deeply and really reconnecting with themselves, really returning to that trust, really returning to the foundation, the roots, as well as the vision that they have, or letting go of all of that stuff that doesn't align anymore, that doesn't fit anymore. So the fire horse is inviting us to reflect. What wants to move forward? What have you been wanting to change that you haven't yet? What wants to be expressed in this moment? What wants to live? So today we're going to mark a simple transition piece. I've grabbed a bigger piece of paper because I'm going to sketch, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just something symbolic for us to say we honor what we release and we welcome what is arriving. So this art prompt can be done in a couple different ways. I'm going to split the page straight in half, and the left side's going to be my snake ear, and the right side is going to be my fire horse ear. So all I have is a piece of paper, a pencil, an eraser, and a ruler. Nice and simple. I'm going to draw my line actually right now. And for the snake side, we're talking about releasing fears, wounds, narratives. If there's any identities, feelings, or even people that you have outgrown and are shedding. You can use this in any symbolic way, using words or shapes or colors, whatever calls to. This is your creative practice at this point now. I am handing the torch over to you. And then on the horse side is the movement. the color, the freedom, the passion, the dream, and what you want to step into now. So you're free to draw literal things and take references. If you want to draw a snake and a horse and have them combined in some way, or you can have footprints, I guess snake prints, and a path forward to what you want to use or what you want to bring into this new season. So this is not about predicting the future in any way. It's just acknowledging the shift inside you when we go from one season in our life to another. This can be used at any point in your life as a transition. This is now your practice to reflect on. So let's begin. I'm just going to quickly sketch. So while I'm sketching, I just wanted to offer an invitation for you to join the soul art community. The link is in the bio if you're not already in it. If you are in it already, thank you so much for all of your contributions, and your energy is so welcomed here. Thank you so much for making art with us. And we have weekly Sip and Spark and new workshops coming up. And I'm also starting to offer a coaching container in probably March or April. So keep an eye out for that. I digress. And let's go back to our art project. Just to close, this is my piece here, and this is the representation of my snake, shedding, growth, and introspection, setting stronger boundaries, and fixing those leaks. So I've created a boundary here. Moves me into trust, action, passion, courage, and energy, and that's what that horse energy is bringing in. So I hope you enjoyed this practice, and you have yourself a wonderful day.